One of the most valuable aspects of the program I think is very important to our school is the ability for our children to be independent in their learning, to be able to be confident in what they're doing and to be able to explain what's happened not only to their teachers but also to their parents at home.
We consider the most valuable aspect to the school and is ATL. So we think that ATL, the approaches to learning, is actually the key element that we missed so far. The missing link between all the essential elements. With the enhanced PYP, we think that the ATL will help a lot of students to learn the skills to learn. And it will help them to be successful not only in their journey in PYP, but also in their life.
The IB learner profile is one of the most important aspects of the program. Indeed, we believe that this learner profile can empower students to become more active citizens and to survive in this globalizing world. In addition to that, collaboration has played also a pivotal role in school cultures, whereby the learning community's contributions and engagement is wholly valued and celebrated. It also gives us an opportunity to reflect on the tacit knowledge that is transformed into explicit knowledge, thereby creating a knowledge capital that's respecting human relationship.
With the IB program, we are continuously learning, not just for the students, but more importantly for the teachers and also for the staff. How we all learn together, how we all collaborate in our learning, in our trying to be better educators for the students.
The language of instruction is English, so we've seen a big influence of the English language on our students. So you visit the primary school and they'll be speaking English just like a native, which is what our parents desire and our students enjoy. And it has made them principled thinkers, and that's what the IB allows. It allows our students to develop their thinking skills, to think for themselves, to look at world issues and world problems, and to be entrepreneurs and innovators and try and find solutions. And not just to give back information in a test at the end of the week, but to be change agents. These students are the future of our world. We want them to be passionate about the environment, passionate about their self-improvement, passionate about their learning. And the IB and its inquiry approach allows for our students to soar to their best potential. And that's why my school and myself were passionate about the IB education. So the MYP is very much a preparation for real world. In mathematics, they're required to do investigations into real world problems, compared to a national system where they're just asked to regurgitate facts. And we all know the brain doesn't work that way. You can learn something, if it's not utilised in context, the brain prunes that neuron. It's a simple known scientific fact. So what the MYP allows is students to think about an issue, think about a concept within a context, and to use that in practical situations, and that's when the brain remembers and the brain learns. So the main difference, I would say, between the MYP and a national program is the thinking, the critical thinking, not just being able to answer a test with a series of multiple choice questions. Instead, to be able to solve the problems of our world. It is a great honour for me to view these MYP5 students and their real personal journey into the inquiry that they have established themselves. And the things that I've seen over the years are outstanding. Students making their own surfboards, a young man describing the use of makeup and skincare, a beautiful young woman designing abayas in a modern context. The list goes on and on and on. And for a 15, 16-year-old to have the opportunity to explore something of great personal interest to them is unique. It's not found in many other curriculum, and it's something that our students value and adore, and they do such a great job. And our parents are surprised at how well their students express themselves and their individuality through the personal project. And some of these students take these ideas on to become businesses. Their blogs become successful and they have thousands of followers. You know, this is the beginning of a journey. It helps them to understand what their career might be in the future by what they've done in their personal project. It's a powerful tool that the MYP has as its culminating project, and I'm very proud of what my students achieve.
In the diverse environment at our school, the MYP has provided a really good framework for students to be able to encourage each other, to be critical, to search for the big ideas, to be problem solvers, and to have a whole world and a real world approach. I think definitely the MYP is opening doors into the future. I think the national curriculums can be somewhat prescriptive. I think that teachers can become a little old and tired in that profession, and I think with the IB it's encouraging teachers to be flexible and to be constant lifelong learners and to challenge their students. And so because of this, I think IB students have a very positive future. I think the personal projects are a really important part of the MYP education. It is the culmination of 5 years of developing their skills and their reflection and their ability to break down concepts and to live and learn through a process.
MYP promotes holistic education, and that nurtures the development of a whole person. And also MYP helping students develop their identity, and they encourage them to take responsibility, contribute what they learn considering the cultural context to helping others by using their intellect and skills. These align with our KIS mission statement. KIS is an innovative community. We want our students to be part of themselves and also can contribute to what they learn to the community. So we aim to develop students they can take responsibility for their learning, take action ethically, nurture passion in self and others, strive for understanding through the MYP curriculum framework. KIS has been an MYP school since the beginning. But when I think about KIS students, I think our students are more curious and motivated in a more intrinsic way. I can give an example. A couple of weeks ago, we ran a special event called KIS Wonder Day. Our grade 6 and 9 students choose any topic they like and they conduct the research, then they create, and then they share their presentation with everybody at the end of the day. Every student knew that wasn't graded. There's no grades. It's basically just discover any topic in your interest. And we have students research about the pop culture, the arts, science, and sports. So to me, that's the best evidence our students getting on board with the MYP core values. They are just very curious in their own way. In the traditional teaching model, the teachers is the center of the learning process. Students, they are just observers in that learning process. They are knowledge recipients, and myself is also the product of the knowledge-based curriculum. So I really appreciate how students can acquire knowledge and skills through the MYP framework. They are given opportunity to explore real-life issues. I think that's very special, that giving students the ownership and allow them to exercise their agency so they can make the learning more personal and authentic. Particularly, MYP also encourages students to apply what they have learned and contribute to the community. Through that community involvement, I think students develop their self-identity and also develop empathy and respect. I think it sounds like a cliche, but it is true. We live in a very fast-changing world, and in such an environment, we often are living with the uncertainties, and we have to take certain actions, often that's beyond our expertise. Through the MYP inquiry-based learning, students are equipped with the skills, and so that also allows teachers to change their teaching pedagogy. Because if we want students to be prepared for the future, for life, not just for work, then we need to ditch, that's the way we have always done it, and thinking outside the box and engage the students a bit more. Only when the students can be actively involved as a learner, then they can become actively involved with their community and be involved with the global issues and enjoy their life as a human.
KIS International School is an IB through school. We offer PYP, MYP and diploma. So the choice is a natural one for us because there's obviously continuity of learning through the programs, continuity of values development. We're providing our students with one continuous holistic education based around one set of values. So there's a proper development of their education from kindergarten right through to graduation. With the diploma program, we can see the benefits of the program in three main ways. So first of all, there's a benefit in terms of values development. The values that our students are going to need as they go forward that will make them successful are there in the IB learner profile of resilience, being committed, being principled, being balanced. There's also a development of skills for our students, and the skills around inquiry, around being able to develop their own original thinking, their own original content will be key for them in the 21st century. And then finally, there's obvious graduation and progression into higher education skills. The diploma program offers the students the best opportunities to go to really high quality colleges, to further their education in a way that they've been really well prepared for with the diploma program. The IB diploma is not just another education program. It's not just another pre-college education program. This is both mission critical for a critical mission. The problems that our students have to face in their lifetime, the problems created by my generation, the problems they're going to have to solve require new ways of thinking. They require new ways of working together. They're going to require new forms of collaboration and new forms of innovation, invention, and aspiration to new values. The IB diploma program will equip the students for the 21st century problems that we face. My generation, based on old education principles, have failed to solve the big problems of our age. The generation we're educating have got to solve those problems.
The history of the school is a long one. ISB has been there in Brunei as one of the main international schools for 50 years. and it reached a turning point in the early 2000s and was looking for a qualification that kind of met the needs of its students in a modern world, but was also flexible enough to meet with the local context. And the IB Diploma became that programme. And over the years, there's certainly been no regrets to making that decision. And for any student who's not up to an IB Diploma, full diploma standard, or doesn't want to do it for any reason, then we also have a number of different pathways that include a small number of diploma subjects. So a bit more like the CP, but we were doing it a long time before CP was introduced. So it creates flexibility for our students. It's been huge. Over the many years, you talk to alumni who come back to Brunei and they're talking about their experience as being the first DP cohort, or in the early 2000s, what it was like on the old school site in wooden buildings and things like that. And the IB's allowed them to grow as individuals and to find their place in society. Within the school as a whole, they then give back to the school. And I think that link is so profoundly strong with the IB, that idea of in-service and supporting your community, that we see the impact now. One of the biggest changes in the last 2 years has been the introduction of theory of knowledge, though. So we do TOK from year 7 upwards now, and embedding and developing the critical thinking and the reflectivity, and also the ability for students to empathise and to consider their place within their knowledge has been immensely liberating for 12 and 13-year-olds, and that journey will carry through to diploma. It also gives us an opportunity to embed extended essay and CAS concepts as well in younger students. So it really, although we're only a diploma school, it really underpins everything that school's about, all the way from age 3 years old upwards. For me, it's the personal journey, the opportunity of the programme to take in a student, regardless what their background is, and for them to grow and to learn. And not just learn knowledge, but to learn about themselves, to learn about the place that they occupy within society, and to make rational thoughts about where they want to be within society as well. And I think the programme offers that huge opportunity for an individual student, regardless what their starting point is. And certainly at ISB, we're an inclusive school, so we take students that on the face of it may not be natural IB students. They're not open-minded, they're not globally aware. And by the end of 2 years, they really are, and they really do excel in everything that the IB stands for in terms of attributes. And I think that's the magic of the programme.
What I love the most about doing the DP is the style of learning, because I feel that rather than being taught to memorize or to regurgitate information, I'm being taught how to analyze and think critically, and I think that the way the DP teaches makes learning really engaging and interesting, and I'm really interested in all my subjects, so it's quite easy to explore my learning further and just take my education that one step further. Furthermore, I feel that the DP is preparing me to be a global citizen, because the education that we're being given is incredibly current. Rather than learning events from the past that may not be so relevant anymore, we're learning kind of more current events and how to become a good citizen. I think the unique core courses have impacted my learning in a multitude of ways. Firstly, with CAS, Creativity, Action and Service, that's kind of allowed me to develop really valuable leadership and time management skills, because I've had to balance those extracurriculars along with my academics, so I think that has been a really valuable experience. Furthermore, I think TOK has been really impactful in my learning, specifically with the completion of the TOK essay, because through learning the approaches to learning and learning how we learn, it's kind of helped me to make connections between my different subjects and learn the value of an expert opinion or perspectives, and so I think it kind of rounds off the IB experience. My most memorable experience from doing the DP would probably be completing my extended essay. I completed my extended essay in English Literature Category 2, comparing 2 plays, a French play called Rhinoceros and an English play called The Crucible, and exploring the way these different plays employed allegories to explore different social issues such as fascism and McCarthyism. And I found the experience of doing the extended essay really memorable because I was able to combine two areas I'm really passionate about, which are English literature as well as politics and history, and kind of combine all that. And I think it was a really great experience because it was self-directed. I had to take the initiative to push myself and explore something that maybe I wouldn't have had the chance to explore. And so I think it was a really memorable experience for me. My favorite subject during DP was DP Higher Level History. In my class we were focusing on history of Africa and the Middle East, which I found incredibly interesting because in history one of, I think, the most fascinating parts about it is in paper one we're kind of learning how to almost criticize academics and how to take sources and information that are given to us and not just accept them and kind of run with them. We're being taught to evaluate, is this perspective biased? How useful is this perspective? What's the purpose of the source? So it's kind of teaching us not to just accept what information is being told to us, rather to inquire into different perspectives and really gain like a well-rounded understanding of the world. Because what I found through doing DP history is that a lot of African history specifically comes from a European perspective, which made me wonder, why are there no African perspectives? Why am I learning African history from a European perspective? So I think that kind of learning and the way we're being taught like that, how to question what's being given to us, I think is really beneficial moving forward in the world. I would definitely recommend the DP to another student. Even though it's academically challenging and rigorous, I think it pushes you to be the absolute best version of yourself you can be and to actually take an interest and find value in learning, because it's quite easy to write off high school as not being useful. But I think through the DP, the way we're being taught and the kind of material we're being taught, it teaches us how to value education and the importance of education. And I would definitely recommend it to another student because I think it pushes you to, not only in an academic way, but also in terms of time management and balancing. I think through the 2 years of DP, I have grown immensely as a person and not just in terms of my academics. So yes, I would definitely recommend it to another student.